Hi, and welcome to the Austin LGBT Chamber of Commerce podcast. I'm your host, Tina Cannon. We're going to talk local business news around the city. Today, we're going to cover our Austin Homes Overvalued, a new project coming to South Congress, MetroBike's new program, and I have a special guest, Annie Spilman. Stay tuned. Welcome. As always, I am joined here by my favorite counterparts, Amy and Colton. How are y'all doing?
I'm full.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Specific.
I'm good.
Hello.
Happy Pride and happy Friday.
Happy lunches.
Yeah, did you have a good happy lunch?
I did. I had some leftover barbecue.
I was promoting barbecue the other day. I was literally walking past these guys, and they were talking about Lockhart Barbecue.
Oh.
And I said, you can't go anywhere else but barbecue.
Yeah.
James Beard Award winner.
Yeah, this is the first Saturday they're going to be closed because they've got to go to the award ceremony.
Oh, darn. They have to go get an award from James Beard.
Well, they're a nominee, but if they don't get it, I think Lockhart's just going to close.
Yes, so we love our friends over at Barbecue. What do you have on tap for the weekend? Anything fun and exciting that I can live vicariously through?
Baby shower.
Oh. No. Oh, look at those buttons are going.
That's
crazy.
a really exciting
Remix.
baby shower at the club.
Disco baby.
Yeah. I'm going tubing for my friend's 40th birthday.
I dig that.
That's
Been a long
cute.
time.
Yeah, it'll be fun. She's fantastic. She makes birthday crowns for everyone when it's their birthday. So I've got a little something teed up for her that I can't share on air.
Oh, a
But
little embarrassing crown.
like not a crown. I'm not a crown maker, but I do weird really well. So
We know.
stay tuned for more.
Okay. Pictures to follow.
Oh
I
yeah,
like.
and it's also the water safari this weekend. The San Marcos big paddling race.
Fun.
Yeah.
Do you know how many miles that thing is?
No.
Like-
How many beers is it?
Hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
What?
Literally.
Yeah.
It goes like from San Marcos to like the coast.
I feel like you can just
And
stay in your
it's like-
boat and you'll just eventually get there, right?
It's like the
Yeah.
MS what is it MS
MS
150, but it's on water.
And
kinda.
sometimes it takes people like 2 days. I mean, it would take me a week.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
it's
So
like
they're-
people meet you on the sidelines, like bring you food, water, all the things.
Please.
I've had several friends that do it, and I will never.
Everybody's having lawn parties in Lockhart who have waterfront property. So
I could see it could be fun, but it's a little too close to camping for me. I'm not that lesbian. Because like at one point they're going to have to poop in those 2 days. Where are they going to do that?
in a diaper. Also, don't eat.
Don't drink out of the river.
Definitely don't drink out of the river. Yes. Well, let's take a look at some local news headlines. It's always good when I hit the right button. So is Austin's housing market overvalued? Well, by one measure, the answer is yes, according to our friends over at the ABJ. Home prices in Austin are eclipsing the median buying power of local residents. That's according to data from First American Corp Financial, which found that housing markets in at least half of the nation's metro areas are overvalued compared to local buying power. So, for example, like in Austin, the local buying power is $434,000 and change. But unfortunately, in the market for new homes, the median sale of a home in Austin is clocking in at $466,000, so about a $32,000 difference. The ABJ has a really long list of how Austin compares to other cities. But, like for example, LA's buying power is $413,000, so their buying power is less than ours, but their home prices are hovering around $923,000 for an overvaluation of 124%. So we're not LA. It's a good news.
Damn.
Yeah, but also like the median. If that's the median, I'm a little bit like, do you really want to move into a house that's less than that in Austin? Because it's not gonna. I don't think it's a house yet.
A $466,000
Yeah.
house in Austin. Yeah, you're not going to get a great house. I mean,
is it hooked up to sewage? Does it have running water? I don't know.
Depends what the neighborhood is, right? Some of these newer neighborhoods, like you've got Easton Park and Whisper Valley, they're coming in at like 350 for
Really?
a new home construction, but you're also getting, you're not getting the quirkiness of an Austin home.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, but when I moved out to Buda, what was it? I don't know, 6 years ago now, 7 years ago, we had that big sign at the front of the neighborhood. Your brother lived there too, and it was like housing below $299, like $299,000.
Yeah.
Show me a house that is under 300 somewhere in Austin now, where you get a median of 466 and some change.
Yeah. Well, it's the math of the median, right? It's taking you knock out the edges and you go kind of in the middle, but you're getting, those are your knockdowns.
What's that little song
Exactly.
that we learned in math class? Like median, the middle number when.
That's a Lano thing.
That probably is Lano because we need a song to learn anything.
I love it.
I don't remember that song at all.
Good old Texas education working for you there.
Well,
But yes, we're overvalued.
it's coming down. Like we're seeing home prices coming down a little bit. We're seeing houses staying on the market a little bit longer. But even like Austin's a little bit longer is nothing like the rest of the country. I mean, I couldn't imagine being in LA and my buying power is $413,000, but I'm shopping in the $923,000 range. And I'm surrounded by homeless people. It's great stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But so just above us in that list, and you can see the full list at the ABJ, is Portland, Oregon, and Denver, and Tampa. So our buying power is at least better than those guys are. But the top of the list, of course, is LA, San Jose, San Diego, and San Francisco, and then Seattle.
New York's not as bad as I would think.
yeah.
I know. I was looking at that list. Yeah.
I mean, but you're still poor.
yeah. So New
there's
York
that.
is 447, and your buying power is at around 606.
Yeah, just a cool $250,000 short. No big deal. Like,
Yeah.
chump change.
Yes, total chump change. But it's coming down. I mean, rental prices are coming down. We're seeing a little bit of correction in the market on some of those crazy numbers. Because, right, we talked about on a show a little while ago that Austin is now the 11th largest city, not the 10th. We hovered in the 10th for like a minute. We had like a date or two, and then she was like, no.
Yeah, I would love to pick Mr. Packard's brain, our board member, Mr. Packard, on
Mr. Home Builder.
Yes, on leasing mentality. Just
Yeah.
because it seems outside of Greater Austin, our little towns are like, oh, people are moving here. Let's build out these tiered leasing agreements where it increases by $1,000 year over year.
Yeah, it should be, if you are going to have something like that, typically you'll have them indexed to something, right? You'll have them indexed to inflation. You'll have them indexed to a median house price.
But if things are going,
But you can't just arbitrarily, never sign that agreement.
No, definitely not. If you're a small business owner out there and you're eager, just come talk to us, please. First.
Yeah, put the chamber to work. Let us do our negotiating power for sure. The City Council okayed rezoning for South Congress for yet another condo project. The ABJ has the rest of that story, but the council approved rezoning, Amy's favorite subject, at their May 30th meeting. The project, called Leland South Congress, they really should have talked to me about naming it, is planned for South Congress Avenue. It'll allow for condos to rise 90 feet on the property where there are several commercial buildings sitting now. The upside is that it'll be 270 condos, retail, and restaurants, and an affordability component. The downside is, of course, we're going to have to lose existing businesses. The ones that are there that they're talking about, it's the real south end of South Congress. So it's a former gas station, a windshield repair tenant, an auto shop, a nursing rehab, which I can't even picture a nursing rehab down there.
It's like right on the corner of the street, like really right across from Seaboys and whatever that. It's always like an advertising agency. It used to be Adlucent, and now it's Sky Cloud or some shit. I don't know.
Says the Chamber of Commerce representative.
Yeah, that.
You can see renderings over
sorry.
at the ABJ. I mean, I will say, like, living on South Congress, you're not going to find that $430,000 house on South Congress by any means. So the idea of having 270 condos with an affordable component is nice.
Sure.
And, I mean, South Congress is changing. We've talked about it a lot. I despise the fact that, like, Skims is coming in, Adidas is coming in, Hermé is there. It's not South Congress like it used to be, but at the same time, people who are lamenting about it, when was the last time you frickin' shopped on South Congress? You have to go there and support these businesses for them to survive. It's not magic.
True.
Yeah.
And I will say this one seems a little different to me because it's not like in South Congress where all the historic buildings and everything is.
It's kind of in a weird spot
like
where
it's
a windshield repair tenant.
Yeah,
is
like
now.
kind of close to the like fire department.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
random.
don't talk to me about zoning.
So that'll be fun for them.
I'm bored with it.
Yeah. This is you on zoning.
Yeah. Just don't, like, if you bring it up, I'm just going to turn around and walk the other way.
It is a long time coming. That's why we're talking about zoning so much, because we haven't done squat since 1987. Since
what's wrong with
TVs were
us?
black and white was the last time we updated our zoning laws in this town. It's getting better. The home initiative just passed at council. We've talked about that before too. But we haven't really done much on the commercial side. So more to come on zoning to make Amy super happy on every episode from now on.
Great.
Foxtrot is going to reopen locations in Dallas, Austin, and Chicago this summer, just months after they abruptly shuttered stores across the country. The Chicago-based boutique grocer told multiple outlets on Wednesday that the company is looking to reopen some of the shops this summer. They're not clear which Austin locations could reopen, but what they're saying about it is that, quote, it's totally a new company starting from scratch. They still have the Foxtrot name and intellectual property and a bunch of our locations, they told a Chicago newspaper. So they're calling themselves a startup again. I don't know.
Sounds like they probably have a lot of inventory left over.
Did they sell, or is it like they've rebranded and then, we accidentally have the same name?
It sounds like they got as close as they could to like a bankruptcy without it being a bankruptcy. It sounds like they acquired some of the intellectual property, the brand name, and probably took over some choice leases and are letting the other ones die on the vine.
So, okay. This kind of stuff it confuses me. So when Carbach was purchased, it's still Carbach, but it's now under Anheuser-Busch, right?
Yeah.
And everybody in Houston was up in arms when this happened. They're like, you're a sellout. And I was kind of like, that's the whole point, is to build the business so that somebody pays you millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And now you're retired at the age of 38.
Right. And more people get to enjoy that beverage because Busch has a bigger distribution channel.
Same thing
So
happened
they
with
sell-
Austin East Cider.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they sell the intellectual property. So is that what this is? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the intellectual property being the brand name and the trade name of Foxtrot. And then they, like I said, probably took over some leases. My guess, that one down by us here in downtown still had inventory. And I remember when we talked about it when they first closed on a podcast a little while ago, I was miffed that they still had inventory sitting on the shelves.
Oh, yeah. That was weird.
Yeah. I'm like, well, at least donate it.
So wasteful.
So if you're going to buy anything from them, you might want to wait till they turn inventory.
I don't know if I was an employee. Like, so were the employees locked out?
Yeah, they were locked out.
Oh, geez.
So it was not a great
So
handling.
you couldn't even like fill a bag on
Yeah.
your way out.
Locked out, no notice.
I would have cleared those shelves.
Yeah, and the hope is that whoever's taken over this, the re-emergence of this quote startup again, is that it's not the same CEO. Is my hope, because she screwed the pooch on this last one.
Well, that's why I think it would be weird if it was the same people.
Yeah, it would be weird because they expanded really too quickly and they took on some really expensive leases.
It sounds
across the country.
Yeah, yes, that sounds a little hokey.
Yeah.
It sounds a little hokey if that's what's going on.
I
But
think somebody had some big pipe dreams and didn't have a good strategy rolling it out. So this is kind of like, let's start again.
okay,
Let's do this a tempoed way and actually make money first before we keep expanding.
sure, great, do it, and then come join the chamber.
Yes,
We're excited to
and they
bring
get
you
some
on board.
different offerings because I went in there one day looking for like something to grab between a meeting, and it was like either this super weird, earthy, I don't know.
What's your problem?
I just wanted a sandwich. Just wanted a quick grab and go. That
You don't
wasn't-
want a sandwich with sprouts and organic mushrooms grown in my kitchen drawer?
No, no, pulled by a monkey in Costa Rica and placed into a basket ever so gently. No,
Yeah.
sometimes you just want a sandwich.
A monkey named George from Costa Rica. What?
But we'll see what happens with our friends at Foxtrot here. The MetroBike is getting a makeover this summer after a pause in operations, according to our great friends over at the Austin Monitor. On July 1st, the city bike rental program known as MetroBike will shut down for a little bit to undergo a transformational change. It'll open up in mid-July again. The bike share will have new stations, e-bikes, and a new app, along with a vision to expand across the city. Right now, there's about 76 stations. They're looking to go 300 across the region in the next 10 years and electrifying the entire fleet of bicycles. They got $11.3 million grant funding from the feds and $2.5 million from local funds to really expand the project. You can weigh in on where you want future bike stations to go at publicinput.com/MetroBike. We all know I love e-bikes. What do y'all think about this program?
I am so into it. I already took a survey that
Nice.
our friend from Movability shared.
Oh,
Very
I'm
nice.
into it. I have not submitted my location proposal,
I
but
did.
I will be.
how far do they go without pedaling?
The e-bikes go a pretty good way. It depends which ones they're going to buy, but you can go a good 20, 30 miles on a typical charge.
Really?
Yeah, it's a nice solution.
Definitely need one at the bus depot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bus depot for folks who are commuting from in and out, it's a little far removed from anything else.
If they could connect that bus depot to an easier way to another Cap Metro station, or like have a bunch of scooters or bikes or something to get you to the train, I would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not in the heat of summer
Yeah.
because it's still way out there on far East 7th, but
It's not bad. I ride my e-bike almost every day.
Yeah.
Got the wind blowing through your hair. It's great.
I mean,
Throwing through your helmet.
all that long hair that you have on your head just blowing in the wind.
Tan in the wind. I mean, right now, if you're south of the river, I don't think there's a station. So, like, if you're trying to go
No.
to Alamo at South Lamar, there's no way to get there on the B-cycle right now. I think that's not true. The furthest it goes, I think, is over there at Barton Springs. And they're always out of bikes because it's Barton Springs.
Right.
Yeah, or the bikes they have there are kind of janky.
Wait, what's the timeline on this?
They're going to shut down for the month of July and then come back in.
Oh, that's great.
And then they're going to keep expanding over the course of the next 10 years. I think it's great. I mean, you go to New York, you go to Boston, you go to these big cities, and you walk 4 blocks and there's another station of bikes, and there's another station of bikes. Same with, of course,
Yeah.
Europe.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great for the city in the long term for people to be able to access the bus. That last mile solution is pretty important for sure. I think it's slick. Stay tuned for our next segment. We're going to talk to our special guest on the show today, Annie Spilman. Annie is a legislative consultant with Main Street Relations. We're going to talk legislative session, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, welcome, Ms. Spilman. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are thrilled to have you. Look, they love you here. Look at here.
God, so many
That's
people.
me. That's all me.
The paparazzi needs to back off.
Texas legislative session is coming.
Did it ever go away?
It feels like we were supposed to skip, but I don't feel like we
Yeah.
skipped anything.
Yeah, we used to have time off, and I feel like all they do now is just meet and come up with really bad ideas.
Yes.
That didn't come from me. That was someone else in the room. I'm just throwing my voice.
It's just, as little minions.
Yeah.
So this is a chamber of commerce, and you have a background representing small businesses for years. It can be an intimidating pink dome. I, of course, lovingly call it my wedding venue. My wife and I were married in State Capitol, in the E2 Rotunda for the Capitol geeks that are listening. But it can be an intimidating building when you walk in there. It's designed to be. I think all American buildings were designed to kind of replicate that Romanesque.
Yeah.
You were supposed to feel intimidated when you come in. I mean, you walk in, the dioceses are taller than the patrons who are there listening in or testifying. So how can a small business kind of get themselves ready to do something this session?
Yeah, and I always lovingly say that, it is the most beautiful Capitol in our nation.
Wedding venue.
Yes, wedding venue. And, it's there, it's open. It's not like, you do have to go through security, but they make it easy. And it's not just some tourist building. That's a working, building.
Yeah.
There are offices there. It's staffed full time. It's there for you. They work for you, the people. So use it. But yeah, so session's coming up, And it's, for those of you that don't know, let's do a quick, poli-sci 101. So session is every other year. And it's starts the Tuesday of the second Tuesday in January every other year. So it's going to start January 12th, 2025, and it's going to sine die, which is Latin for the end of day. June 2nd, yes, the end of day. And we love sine die around here. But like I said, they sine die and then they go back into special session. But look, small business owners, they have an opportunity to have a loud voice. And I really like to talk specifically to small business owners about advocacy because they have a lot of leverage in this state.
Yeah.
They really do, with Republicans and Democrats. And I like to talk about the 5 W's of advocacy. So
we're getting scholastic here, people. Get out your pens.
And I'm born and raised in Texas, so I say
we can tell.
The 5 W's. Yeah, the W's.
Yeah, we hear the 5. We hear you say 5.
The 5 W's.
All right, everybody's got their pen now. So
okay, ready,
what are
everybody? Okay, and we're going to have a lesson at the end. So the who, what, when, where, and why. But also let's add that H in there in the how. So the who. So, you have to know who your audience is. And so in this case, it's the Texas Legislature. And, it's not just, you need to know who that is. We're going to go in here in a little bit. And, how do you find out who your legislators are? Because in some cases you can be in Austin, there's several state representatives, and then you have your senator. And again, we're talking state on the state level, not DC. But guess what? The who is also you. You have to let them know, who are you to your employees?
Right.
Who are you to your community? That's super important because they need to know, why should they listen to you?
Right. How many people are you employing? What kind of economic impact?
Exactly. I'm important, and here's who I am. Yeah. But discover who you need to talk to first. And, here we are, we're talking about legislators. Their staff is equally as important. And I always say, do not underestimate the staff. Yes, they may be 20 years old, they may have just come out of college, but guess what? They're a direct line to their legislators.
Sure.
The what? This is the second W. The what? What are your biggest problems and priorities? Is it inflation, property taxes, supply chain issues, labor shortage, healthcare costs? That's huge. Approach your messaging with the same strategy as you approach your customer communications. How can you solve their problem and help reach their goal? That being, listen, they're legislators, they're filing legislation. I can't tell you how many times every session legislators come to me as a small business lobbyist and say, Annie, hey, I want to do something really good for my district, right? Give me something I can take home that helps the small business folks. And a lot of times I say, just stay out of their damn way, Hey, amen. Thank you very much. But that doesn't go very far because, let's backtrack a second. Last session, and last session would have been 2023 because it's every other year. So we remember our little lesson that we had in the beginning of this. Last session, they filed over 8,000 bills.
That's insanity.
And they're only there for 140 days, folks.
No.
I know. But the good news is that they only passed about 1,200 bills, and that's still a whole heck of a lot.
It is for a body that their sole job is to pass a budget.
Sure. That's all they're going in for.
Less government, Texas. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, conservative, less government. But what's funny is, even though it's a conservative majority here in Texas, they're just fine. I mean, you have legislators that you have 181 legislators in Texas, and each one of them are filing like 100 bills apiece. I mean, it's getting insane.
Yeah.
The only reason we're going is to pass a budget.
Right.
Everything else is auxiliary to that. But so we've now talked about the who, the what, the when. Timing is everything. When you're talking to your legislators, this is the good news. This is a citizen legislature.
Yeah, it's rough to say.
It's hard to say, especially with that accent. I feel like I talk like I've got peanut butter in my mouth at all times, or I got a big a dip in or something. I know Tina doesn't right now. She doesn't know that dip in. No, but So at any rate, yeah, you're probably going to see them at the grocery store, at the car wash, or at the Little League game, which you probably sponsored because you're the small business person, and that's something you need to remind them of. Do you know that small business owners are 250% more likely to sponsor their local charities? You are your community. You serve your community. So yes, they serve their communities as, legislators, but so do you. So you're equally as important.
That's great. That's a great way to consider that, right? You serve your community as a small business owner.
Yeah. You are a part of your community. You are the face of your Main Street business, baby. Let them know that. But timing is everything in politics. And so that, right now we're in what's called the interim. So they aren't going to the Capitol every day. They're not on, the House or Senate floor. Bills haven't been filed. They're not going, talking about bills and hearings. They're talking about what they might do next session. So, this is the time to get with your colleagues, get with your stakeholders, and talk about the things that might be important to you. Get with your associations, your chambers. But sit tight, wait, because guess what? They have a very short attention span. So that gets us into also the where. So guess what? There's no excuses these days. There's Zooms, there's phone calls. They have offices in the district, and a lot of people don't know that. They just think that this pink dome over here is the only place that they meet. They have staff in their districts as well. And they have senators, they have a couple of district offices. So you go into a little place called Google. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Where?
GTS.
Yes, it's the Google. I don't get it.
The internets.
GTS. Google that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so slow on the uptake. I'm old.
like zoning.
Yeah, but
GTS.
yeah. But so Google, and you can find where they are. I mean, listen, they're trackable. But you can go in and you type Texas Legislature online, and you can find you go over into the right hand little portion of that Texas Legislature online, and it'll who represents me. You can just type in your zip code if you don't have a whole lot of time to type in your whole address. And anyway, that'll take you to how to find them. But district office, call them up if you just feel like ranting. I mean, listen, part of how I started out in this business was being a lowly little Capitol staffer over there whenever I was 19, 20 years old, and sitting on the phone with a lot of retirees that just wanted to call and talk.
They love when their phone rings.
And so...
Who's calling me after dark?
Yeah, well...
Street lights are on.
They're the ones that called us. But, it was crazy because they would have, and I tell people this all the time, anything as little as something going on with maybe your power bill or whatever, you call your state representative, call your senator.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is they might be able to help you.
Right.
But, just in getting into the why, you need to think about the why. Why do I need to contact my legislator, and why did they don't go in with a fixed mindset? Because, just like with your business, you're going to have to go with the ebbs and the flows, and it's kind of with marketing too. But, you need to, again, remind them that you serve your community too, and be the resource. They want to know what affects you as a business owner, because guess what? They want to be able to use that. It's a reciprocal relationship that you're forming with your legislator. So don't, just like Tina said, don't be afraid of that pink building. Don't be afraid of your elected official. They want to hear from you as much as, they need to hear from you, and you want to talk to them. But, the how, like I said, it's much easier than you think. I always encourage people, and it's not just a pitch. You're busy running your business, and as a business owner that you put people in their positions for a reason, and that everybody has a job. Just like if you join an association or your chamber, they're good at what they do. They know how to be an advocate. So if you don't have the time to make those calls or to go to your Capitol days, listen, trust those resources. Pay the $50 a month or a year to be a part of your chamber or your association, and just tell them what your issues are and let them be your voice for you at the Capitol. So I always encourage that. But, have some facts in your back pocket when you're talking to these legislators. But, I always think about it, just the 5 W's of advocacy. So think about that just like you're running your business. Go in, organize, and try not to just kind of go in with the fire, because you have that fire. They want to hear from you, but just have that organized mind when you're speaking.
Be polite.
And be polite.
It's a business environment.
100%.
So mutual respect goes a long way.
Yeah, and the folks who are elected in these positions, the vast majority actually are small business owners themselves.
It's really interesting. I've seen over the 24 years that I've been doing this, more and more and more of people that are running for office are small business owners, because they're sick and tired of the government telling them how to run their business or what to do. And they get, small business owners have gotten to a position where it's not because they're making $1 million a year. A lot of times small business owners, as you all know who are listening, aren't necessarily even netting a profit, but they truly want to give back, or they want to go up there and participate in the process instead of being, sort of a consequence of the process.
Yeah. It's important to be a voice, right? It's important to pick up those phones and call them, email them, visit them, either in district or at the Capitol. Because if you're not, they're listening to the other voice that is.
That's really important. And I want to add this, because I left it off. And this is something new that the Texas Legislature online has offered. And a lot of people don't even know this. And it just, the new part is that, the old part, let me add this first, is that anybody can, like I said, go to Google, type in Texas Legislature online, and then over to the right, this is as session's going, and you can go kind of click on meetings, see what meetings are coming up, business and commerce, anything that's interesting to you, economic and small business development, anything. I mean, heck, you might be interested in watching human services. You can go in and watch the audio visual of that as it's playing out. You can watch it live, and you just click on that. You can go and watch the archive video of it. But you can go in there if you're hearing the news and they talk about Senate Bill 14, Senate Bill 17, House Bill 290. You can track that. You can set up your own legislative tracking. And on those hearings, without even going to a hearing, without testifying, without calling your legislator, you can provide public comment online. You could submit it, and they get it. And guess what? That is submitted into the record as if you are testifying. And it's important because there are legislators, there are staffers, they read it, they submit it into the record. A lot of them, when they're going on the floor, these legislators, and they're arguing back and forth with each other, they'll say, you know what? Mr. Johnson from Luling wrote into me, and he said this is going to shut down his business. Did you see him at Barb's barbecue the other day?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr.
We go way back.
Yeah. Is he Big Johnson or Little Johnson?
Oh!
No, I mean senior. No.
Oh boy.
Oh, hey. But yeah. No. So yeah, but I mean, the thing is too is and I know step on what you might be adding, but going into this next session, look, the House and the Senate, I think unless you've been sleeping under a rock, they've been at clear odds. The Speaker and Lieutenant Governor, there's not going to be a whole lot of common ground as if there were before, but there's not especially going to be a whole lot of common ground going into this next session. But guess what the common ground has been, decades and decades and decades, and that is our small businesses. I mean, it can be a nonpartisan common ground building issue, and you can provide that. So give them something that can bring these people on the same page and say, we're important to your communities, and so listen to us.
Yeah. And as a small business owner, it's important to energize your employee base, right? Get them registered to vote. Don't tell them how to vote. Give them a day off to go vote, right? Some things that we learned at one of our amazing luncheons that we had this last week. As a business owner, right, you should really work to empower your employees to become civically educated and engaged.
Yeah. I mean, we learned that in Ireland is just built into their blood.
It's literally
like civics and economics and being a contributing member of society in the sense that you use your voice.
They had a 90-something% turnout for their votes in Ireland and in Australia too.
And it's normalized. if you don't vote, it's like, what?
Do they have to take a breathalyzer test before they vote? I'm just curious.
They just vote with their breath, and that tells you what party they're with. No, I think it's important to get organized. I think, yes, it is important to vote. But in speaking to partisanship, like where we are obviously very polarized right now, but you're going to find more in common with your neighbors than not. So even if somebody is technically on the other side, especially in small towns, you're going to be eating at the same restaurants, going to the same bars, probably using the one grocery store in the town.
Right.
And you are going to bump into them. You might go to church with them, whatever. But go and organize, know your numbers, and be polite.
Yeah, and to add to that, you actually brought up something that I think is so important, and I've done a million of these, and I see when people get even more fired up. As a small business owner, offer to host a small business roundtable at your business, and that serves a couple of purposes. And invite your local officials, your state representatives.
Yeah, they got nothing to do.
Yeah. But it brings them into your business. They can see what you're doing. It puts a face on your business. They get to then meet your employees. They see what you do, but
Humanizes it.
It humanizes it, and you're bringing in your neighbors. You're sitting around having a cup of coffee. You're talking. And everybody has a voice at that table, and they feel heard. And it's just, it is like the old school neighborly. We're sitting around. It's a small business roundtable, and I have to tell you, even in the big cities like Dallas and Austin, San Antonio, Houston, people still like to do it. You would be amazed at the turnout that when people actually say, "Sure, I'll host an event. Just let me know when you want to do it at the local bakery, coffee shop." People still do it these days.
Sure. I think a good business owner knows that there is benefit in competition. You want competition, but you also want to support them. And you want to have that coalition with your local business owners and go to your representatives together.
Yeah, to say, hey, this crazy thing that you did last session that you thought was a good idea, it's not operationally
break our industry.
working.
Right.
Yeah.
And then money leaves the state, just like that.
I mean, that's how, things like the restaurants associations were built, and the home builders association and
Chambers of Commerce.
Well, no, but I'm saying with the competition I'm talking about. So you get these specific industry associations, and look, these people, out in the real world are competitors, but at the end of the day, they come together on issues.
Right.
And, yes, and then they're part of their chambers, and they're competitors there as well, but then they not only network, but then they go at their Capitol days, and they go walk the hallways, and they say the issues are important to us. And that's why I always behoove people, you may think, oh man, that's an extra something a year that I would have to pay down to that. And I'm struggling as a small business owner, but it's an investment that is so important, because at the end of the day, like you said, if you're not the one at the table talking, you're going to be the one for dinner. I mean, it's an old fashioned saying, but it's true.
And we're fortunate being in Austin because we got front row seats to everything going on. You can really tap in. I think I don't want to say we're better educated than the rest of Texas, but it is easier to obtain the information when you're on the front steps of the Capitol. You can see it all going on.
And it's important. That business voice and the voice of the economy is super strong, and that's a language that's spoken at the Capitol. So make sure that you are, as a business owner, are speaking your voice to your truth, and that you're empowering your employees to do the same, and creating space for all that to happen. So, Annie, thank you so much for joining us. We loved having you.
Thank you.
If you want to become a member of the Chamber of Commerce, like you just learned, is an amazing thing. Join us for some events. You can learn more at the AustinLGBTChamber.com. Let's take a look at what's going around the horn at the Greater Austin LGBT Chamber of Commerce. What do we have on the news for us?
You can hang out with us today at the Long Center at 2 p.m. for a rainbow ribbon cutting for the Label Consulting and Management LLC. They will be offering 50% off tickets for the 9 p.m. show, but only if you come to the ribbon cutting. So come hang out with us, celebrate Mike and the team. And the show is Alicia Keys and John Legend tribute. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Good tunes,
Super
good tunes.
Cool. Yeah.
We will also be having a rainbow ribbon cutting on June 13th at Sassy Threads on North Lamar at 5 p.m.
Sassy.
You're sassy.
Sassy Threads, sassy snacks, sassy drinks.
I love a sassy drink. And I love a free sassy drink
Do
even
they have
more.
sarsaparillas there?
Sarsaparilla? I love a sarsaparilla.
No.
I've never had it.
It's kind of like a
It's good.
redneck root beer.
Yeah. It's a great way to call it. Yeah.
Good.
Fun name.
Sounds like the name of a drag queen.
I know. Let's make it happen. We have another rainbow ribbon cutting on June 17th at Out Wellness.
Yay.
They will have a live.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they're alive.
A live. They will have live music, not a live music. That's what threw me off. And a drag show.
Oh, yeah. Live drag show.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't like a dead one.
A drag show.
They're alive.
Plus live music. Yeah. Both of those things. All the things are happening. We will also be at Rain on 4th on June 20th for our monthly chamber happy hour.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
Holla.
And then one more rainbow ribbon cutting the next day at Austin Rise FC Pride Night.
That's exciting. What's Austin Rise?
Austin Rise FC
Like I'm going to make you
is
talk about sport ball.
soccer.
Yay,
Amy, take it from
sports.
there.
Yay, sports. Awesome.
Sports ball,
Awesome
Sporty
Rise
Spice.
FC. They are our first, soon to be only professional women's soccer team in the city of Austin. Right now they are semi-pro, but they're going to be moving to Division III Pro next year. And they're chamber members, and Bethany's been wonderful. And she has a little promo going for chamber members.
Free tickets.
Free tickets. So reach out to us or reach out to Bethany. She can hook you up to Austin Rise FC in the directory.
Yeah.
How much are they?
Free.
Oh, love it.
And kids 12 and under are always free. So
I mean, they don't hand out kids that are 12 and under. If you bring a kid that's 12 and
Yeah,
under.
I don't want.
I don't want a kid.
Yeah.
definitely not. I feel like 12-year-olds are real sticky. Like, no, thank you. That's a lot of Cheeto cheese to clean up around your house. But yeah.
Do
Austin
they
Rise-
have like a little chant? Or like a
probably
thingy?
not, but maybe we can come up with one.
Yeah, I almost said Listos when you asked me.
But-
and I was like,
No,
wrong
wrong club.
wrong FC.
Ribbon cutting will be at halftime. Come hang out. We'll try to all find a spot in the stands together. It's going to be at House Park. So I'm super excited for that since I am a sports fanatic.
Plenty of parking there.
Plenty of parking at House Park.
Great.
I love that. So good things to know. Absolutely. Great show today, everybody. If you want to be a guest or a podcast sponsor, you can email us at info@austinlgbtchamber.com. Be sure to check out past episodes of the show. Follow us and check out new episodes every Friday at noon, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time.